This is about, is cloning acceptable? And my answer is no, but they do it anyways. Cloning is the process of taking genetic information from the cells of an organism and placing the DNA into another cell, thereby hopefully causing that cell to form into a copy of the original organism. That's what it's doing. It's taking the genetic DNA information, of course, and from the cells of an organism and placing the DNA into another cell. So that's how they do the cloning. This can be done naturally or using technology with plants and animals. Now, however, the technology is being applied to humans, and this raises the ethics of the procedure. Yes, sir. It could be done naturally or using technology with plants and animals, and of course, everything is getting cloned. Nothing is real anymore. We live in a matrix. That's what we do. That's what we are now, living in a matrix. Now, cloning is the plant realm occurs naturally. For example, potatoes, which grow as roots underground, can be removed from the original plant and replanted elsewhere, with the result of the new plants being identical in form and taste to the original. There are grasses that send out shoots underground that form other identical plants. Yeah, so you got potatoes, and they're taking it for an example, which is good. I love potatoes, homemade potatoes. They said which grows as roots underground can be removed from the original plant itself while it grows somewhere else, the original plant by itself. The original plant, I guess, dies or something, I don't know. These are insects that can reproduce asexually, a type of cloning method where the insect uses the existing genetic information without the aid of an opposite sex. The sexual reproduction is a continuance of existing genetic information which then produces identical offspring in the parent. Yeah, so insects, they can be asexual. They don't need a mate. They reproduce their own they could reproduce their own sex cells, in other words, have babies on their own without the help of another insect that they don't want, because these females are by themselves. They pretty much lay eggs by themselves. They don't need the male seeds, let me put it that way, to make babies. Occasionally, animals and humans are born as twins. Twins could be identical in genetic makeup since the initial zygote splits in such a way as to make an identical copy of itself, which then matures along with the others to form babies. And so it's like 1 in 10 chances that twins are born together, but not very often that it can happen. So, and of course, the twins are identical. You got say like you have 2 girls that are twins, 2 boys that are twins, or they could be a girl and a boy that are twins. So it doesn't matter which one is what, but I know it's hard to tell twins apart. It really is, and I understand that. But it can, the zygote another splits in such a way as to make an identical copy of itself. So that's what twins do. They make an identical copy of themselves. So we can see that cloning occurs naturally, but does this mean that we are to apply the technology to cloning humans? Well, are we allowed to do that? Probably not. I guess not, because, it's not supposed to happen like that, but it does happen. They're using technology to make clones and everything else. But what about people? Let's get into that one. Biblically, there is a great distinction between animals and people. We are made in the image of God, Genesis 1:26, where animals are not. We are commanded not to murder humans, Exodus 20:13. Yet we are told to kill animals for food. This means that humanity is substantially different in nature than the animal kingdom. The evolutionist, however, sees little difference between animals and humans, except to say that we are more advanced biologically due to evolution, an unbiblical theory. Alright, so biblically, there is a great distinction between animals and humans. Of course, we know that. Of course, humans are killing animals for food because, it's I guess in the DNA that humans have to kill animals for food and that, and everything else. So, everything. And we are supposed to be made in the image of God. And of course, that's what it says in Genesis 1:26. And we are commanded not to murder humans. That says that in Exodus 20:13. But you got clones, or you got people out here that are killing everybody. Black on black crimes, black on white crimes, all different cultures are killing each other and everything else. Therefore, ethically, the evolutionists would be more inclined to participate in human cloning research, since biblical concerns are not relevant. Alright, so it is not relevant to be cloning anybody, but honestly, therefore, ethically, the evolutionists would be more inclined to participate in human cloning research, since the Bible was not relevant enough, because it never really said anything, all humans are clones. No, we're supposed to be made in God's image. That's what we are. But when you got the original people that are selling their souls to the devils for this pay to play thing, then you wonder why they're not who you think they are. This is a problem because it opens the door for all sorts of atrocities. What is to prevent a cloned human from being killed in order to harvest his organs? If the clone is considered fully human, then hopefully clear ethics would prevent murder. But we cannot say. And if someone wants to say that scientists will be ethical, then just look at history. Being a scientist is no guarantee of ethics. Of course they're not a guarantee of ethics. Not the scientists, no, because they're the ones that are cloning everybody. They're cloning humans, animals. Well, not so much animals, but it's mostly human, because all these scientists that are underground and that, they're cloning the real people. That's what they do. And the real people, they're just, I don't know, tucked away somewhere. I don't know where, but they are. And of course, the biblical concerns are not relevant as usual. But if the clone is considered fully human, then hopefully secular ethics would prevent murder. And of course, murder is never prevented, because you have all these killings going on every single day of the week. Even holidays, there is no time off for this. For Christians, this comes down to God's created order that we marry and produce children through his ordained means of procreation. Human cloning goes against this and risks the manipulation and murder of another human life. Yes, so for Christians, this comes down to God's created order that we marry and produce children through his ordained means of procreation. It does, and of course right now it's being manipulated. It's not what you think it is at all no more. And of course the murder of other human life, and of course, what else is new? Murder of life, I mean, seriously, why are people doing this? I don't know, but it has to stop somewhere. But like I said, it never takes a day off. The police are always there, and of course they're part of the cloning too, the police. I mean, seriously. Therefore, the cloning of full human beings would be wrong, since it rebels against God's created order of having a mother and a father, of using the God-ordained procreative means, and it usurps God's sovereign right to be the author of the life in the womb. So the mother and the father has to be the one to create the child that the mother has to carry for 9 months. I've seen movies or maybe read somewhere that a woman can have a frozen, I don't know how else am I going to put this without being gross, have like a, that the doctors take a needle and put damn, I'm going to regret saying this, but they're artificially inseminated. In other words, the mother is the surrogate of carrying somebody else's baby with the male's semen. Let me put it that way. It's the best I could do right now. I'm sorry. But God's sovereign right to be the author of the life in the womb. So that means God is the author. He's the beginning, the middle, and the end of life. That's who he is. And of course, I know people are going to say, well, there's no God. Well, how would you know? Were you there? Were you born yet to not know? No. So, human cloning goes against this and risks the manipulation and murder of another human life. So, yeah, it is against God's law to be cloning anybody, really. And all these people that are running around in the music industry, movie industry, politics and all that, they're all going to be going to the ring of fire because they are evil clones. That's who they are. They're aliens. They're not real people. They're not who you think they are. I mean, it's ridiculous that all this is happening, and it's going against God's laws. I mean, the original people, they don't stand up to these clones at all. They really don't. They're just tucked away somewhere underground. I don't know where underground, but they are. Anywho, leave your comments below. I am out.